And for the rest of you, ignore this part of the conversation. But horrible morning for me. I'm under a lot of pressure. I'll be taking a flight tomorrow for the first time in 11 months. So I'm like an Air India pilot, nervous, anxious, worried. And that's why I don't have my headphones, and the audio may be slightly lower than our normal superhuman levels of performance, which have been great, award winning in the first month itself. I just want to mention that at 49, it's difficult to remember everything. I pack my stuff at 4:45 in the morning. That's includes ALA pills, fish oil, protein, NO2 powder, BCAAs, another recovery product, which I can't mention because it's illegal. Then a pant, a shirt, an underwear, a pair of socks, which now my wife tells me I should only wear white socks, because otherwise I look like a moron in my short pants and colored socks. So all that took a lot of effort out of me. And in that, I forgot the most important thing, the headset. Yes, the headset which separates the men from the boys. So today, the voice of Silverie, Amit, and I think Pavan will be a lot louder and better than mine. So in a way, it's an equalizing moment for all of us on the show. We call, I don't know if it's Cyrus says or cock and bull. I'm still waiting for someone to come and clarify this issue. They will when they start speaking. But let us introduce our main guest here, with no disrespect to Amit Doshi, who's probably like the procreator, the man who started the universe. Then we've got Silverie, also known as Antariksh, who's always here with us as producer and actor and writer. But above all, today we have Pavan from Pavan's Podcasts, which of course I'm not reading. I know all about it. So obviously it's not like I have to look at a paper and say Thale-Harate and the Pragati podcast, India's Gin Revolution. This is something I would wake up and talk to you about, without even brushing my teeth. He's, of course, a very important personnel in terms of alcohol, something the country needs desperately, though I'll never say this on air or live. And he's going to take us through all the important moments of Monday. I feel Monday is the most important day of the week, because if you don't do Monday, you can't get to Tuesday, and then you can't get to Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So Monday is the most important. It's like your mother. First the mother, then you're born. So Monday, even sounds like mother, Monday, mother. Having said all that, let's go straight to our guests. Pavan, are you there?
Owen, you want to do a better job introducing yourself a little bit so that people actually know a little bit about
hello.
you?
I will not take this criticism. I mean, it's not like I'm one of those amateurs who finds a pretty biodata 1 minute before the show starts and then just scrambles things together. Stop behaving like that. I spent all night. I know Pavan's parents' names. I know which school he went to. I know that Pavan, if you spell backwards, is Navarapam. I know all these things. Pavan, go ahead. In case you feel that we've not done justice to your greatness, please go ahead.
You've more than done justice to my greatness, because you mentioned gin and alcohol along with my name. Thank you. Nobody's done that before. So hi, Cyrus. We were last, I think, on episode 254 or something of Cyrus Says. I was a guest on your show. That was donkeys years ago. And yeah, I've been working with Amit and with IVM on multiple shows, and I've been loving it. I've been running the Pragati podcast since 2017 and the Thale-Harate Kannada podcast for a little over 2 years. So doing a podcasting in Kannada is also a lot of fun. And It's a pleasure to be here. I mean, usually I have a face made for radio, right? No video, nothing. Now you're live, all this pressure. So this is new for me and fun.
Also, we've moved in technology. This is now color radio. There's no longer old days.
Yes, no black and white radio.
No black and white. Just one thing to point out, you're a real professional. You've got a goatee, clean face, brushed hair, also a bush shirt, and above all, a headset. Just to point out, if you're a young podcaster to be, this Pavan is the guy to follow. He's got it all made. He's got it all set. And a nice clean wall. I'm like, well, this is what I got in the background.
Very nice clean wall, because no other surface is okay. No bookshelf to keep, nothing to make myself, look smarter and more mature. And the computer camera misses all my gray hair and everything else. Yes, so
don't try and put yourself down, because a contrast with me will always make you look up. So
but Cyrus, where did all the files go?
Oh, Amit,
they got robbed.
Glasnost is my thing, restructuring and what is the other word? Openness. So here's what happened. You instructed us very clearly, and let the people who are listening know, because we're very transparent, like the government should be. You had told me, and as Amit Doshi does when he doesn't want to insult you, he has two facets: when he's really insulting, which generally doesn't do with me, or with me, it's more like a very passive, slow burn. So it'll be like, the wall, I think Silverie said, looks like a government office, then blah, blah, blah. Everybody had a laugh, and then slowly they tried to explain to me, it's not a joke. This is just a base to get you to understand there has to be a cleanup done. And so we're just waiting. My wife comes back from Hyderabad tomorrow. Travel details are important. I go to Ahmedabad, and then she and Abadal will make this into a beautiful. By the week after Valentine's Day, which I shall spend with people I don't love, we will have everything working in the background properly for you. You will have nice paintings. And if Pavan's coming on, there'll be a gin painting. That'll be that good. I'll give you, I'll make it all work. But folks, if you're listening, this show is the last of the mediocre shows. Next week onwards, we're going to raise the bar like never before. It's going to be huge, huge. Quote the great Donald Trump, who I miss already.
By the way, good luck on your first air travel. I mean, I did that just last month, managed to get away to Goa. And my God, people are crazy. Okay.
Please tell me.
So one, assume that people are the worst there ever will be. Okay. Especially on the aircraft. This old thing about these campy space shows like Star Trek, shields at 60%, shields for dropping at 40% when they're in a fight. That's how it is once you enter an airplane. All those face shields only for the bus. The moment people sit down, face shield off, face shield down to 20%, mask off, selfie. They'll only want it for outside here. I mean, once you're in the tin can of a plane, there is no mask, nothing.
So the gorgeous air hostess doesn't come and say, sir, aap mask pehno ya face shield.
How many people can they tell that to?
That's true. But what is the distance on the plane? Is it also like one seat off?
No. The person in the middle seat has to wear a gown. They give them a white gown. Nobody tells you this in advance. At the gate, they'll give you. So if you have a middle seat, you're supposed to wear a white gown just covering your clothes so that, if there's contact with the next person, you'll be, there's some protection.
Is there a hole for you to pee in?
No.
They didn't think that through?
No. It doesn't go till your feet. It's just like a top. So it's like a lab coat. Apron.
It's like a boob tube. Just this. Okay.
No, at least goes till your waist, but yeah, you can.
Pavan, I hate this already. I can't bear this. So we're going to look like a cheap Star Trek production. 3 people jammed together during COVID, trying not to look at each other. And if you cough, God forbid, fir kya hoga? You look here and cough. You don't make contact there. What? How does that work?
No, that's if you're sane. Everyone else thinks like it's party time, man. I mean, we are in a flight again.
Let me understand. You're saying it's bindas and they're all like laid back?
Yeah, people are bindas in the airport, in the airplane. Only when they think people are looking, they'll wear shield. Not because they want to protect themselves. I was lucky because I went to Goa. And I'll tell you, I'm amazed by how well people are maintaining distancing in Goa. I'm not talking about tourists, okay? I'm talking about people who are actually going.
Is this sarcasm or this is real?
No, real. And I mean, Bangalore was bad. Goa, I was amazed by how well people were wearing their masks in Goan weather. Unless you're on the actual beach, in which case you don't need anything. Yeah, you have a sea breeze blowing in. Everywhere else, people are wearing masks. It's amazing. So don't go where the tourists are and you'll actually be fine if you can manage your flight safely.
You think it might have to do with the fact that...
So unless you want to see the statue, and I won't mention which and how, you're not really a tourist. So
well, Ahmedabad is different now, I think, in that sense, culturally. Ahmedabad is much more likely where you are...
Everybody will be carrying their little plastic bags with food, firstly. So, I mean, that's the first experience that I'll have. And they'll offer
these airlines also, okay, all of them want to make their money from that food, na? That 100 rupees ka, whatever they give you, 200 rupees wala noodles. They'll serve that. So they'll make you wear shield and mask and give you all of those things.
Then
on a Bangalore-Goa flight, okay, it takes less than an hour. You take off your flat and they'll tell you, do you want snacks now? So people will take off, eat snacks, put it back on, bus.
So the guy in the gown in the middle, with the gown and the face shield and the mask, he then takes everything off and eats properly? Or I mean, what does he do?
No, he's already taken it off now, so he can eat comfortably.
Okay. So these are like stage props when you're doing a college play. So tera scene karke, prop ko fake do backstage pe and you carry on with life. There's no real... I understand. So it's all tokenism for 5 minutes. I'm good with that. It's like how we say, hello, what's up, how are you doing? And you're not really paying attention to the person. Yeah, great. Good.
Exactly.
But what about the lines entering? Last question. I know we were lots to talk about, but I just want to know, I'm a little worried. When you enter the airport, outside when you're at the main gate, do they do a check of you or something, special check?
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of machines. See, I know about Bangalore airport and Goa, okay? But there are machines which will scan your temperature. They'll all show that you're...
Are you putting down Mumbai as a backward city?
Mumbai, I don't have experience. Mumbai Old Airport is a backward airport. Okay, that I know.
Fair enough.
But so they'll have all these machines and scans. They'll tell you that your temperature is 35 or 34 or 33. A temperature at which you'll die because your body temperature is too cold. And then they'll let you in. Bus. They'll take you...
As long as you don't high fever, they'll let you in. If it's anything else, it's fine.
Bus. Everything else is fine. And they'll make you take off your mask to show photo ID. There'll be a guy behind a screen, and then he'll try to scan your barcode through glass, and then it'll get reflected. All kinds of funny stuff will happen.
COVID travel, shouldn't we be allowed an ID card with the mask on? So that way, in a sense, the real authentic. And then you don't get
Iris, no? When we get Aadhaar and Iris linked, that's when we'll have all this.
Aadhaar, Pavan, we have, by the way.
No, when we link it to our biometrics and start using it.
Right now, it's only linked to the thumbprint. No? Pavan is more worried about the
eyeball is missing.
Then you're in trouble.
Do you go for another ball or that's it? These are questions. There'll be 1 out of 10,000 people with that problem. All right.
The nation wants to know.
Sorry?
The nation wants to know.
We're not allowed to say that. Apparently, we'll be sued. Because the ownership is not even the great man's. The ownership has gone back to some other...
Time zones it, no?
I can't mention times. I'm not allowed to.
I can mention time. So basically, it's weird. No? So it's not... Arnab doesn't own it. Times owns it because Times copyrighted it. Or trademarked the phrase or something like that.
They own the show. So under the guise of the show, they own what happened on the show. So even his ties, he can't repeat. If you notice, is a very bright red has gone to a medium red. It can't go fully red. Of course, some say he only wears orange ties, but fine. Pavanji, are you ready for some scintillating conversation with the three philosophers?
Yes, sir. I'm ready for some cock and bull.
We haven't plugged your podcast, though. I've been instructing you to plug it.
Well, we mentioned it, but let's plug it properly. Where can you listen to your podcast, Pavan?
The Kannada one first. What is that all about?
So it's a show, it's a weekly show that started 2 years ago called the Thale-Harate Kannada podcast. It basically means, baatcheet, but like above my aukat. Right? We're talking about government, we're talking about public affairs, society, history.
Chai ka charcha? Is it like chai ka charcha a little bit?
No chai. Charcha to hai, and with far more irreverence than reverence. Okay.
Fair enough. Okay.
And we are only one of 5 or 10 regular podcasts in Kannada, and it's a lot of fun.
And do you think politicians listen to it?
I don't know, but I think we are managing to get 60-year-olds to listen to it, and I think that's great. Otherwise, who will listen to me for that long?
But at least you have 60-year-olds. We are looking at 75 now because we've exhausted whatever market we know. What about the Pragati podcast?
So the Pragati is an English sort of public policy and public affairs show that I've been running since 2017. Everything with IVM, so we can find it on the IVM Podcast app and pretty much everywhere you get your podcast from. So it's been a pleasure working with Amit for the last 3.5, almost 4 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow, it's almost like Valentine's Day has come. The two of you get a room for God's sake. Really, now, Silverie? I was like, where did that come from? The guy's so funny and then suddenly makes love. So just to understand for me, what is it about exactly? What technicalities? What do you talk about?
In Kannada, we talk about everything.
The Pragati podcast.
We talk about what happens in foreign policy. How does a vaccine get approved? Pretty much anything that matters to India and how India deals with the world. We'll talk about it on Pragati.
But Pavan, what makes you the pop on policy? What's going on here?
For the last 10 years, I've been working in public policy. So,
yeah,
I actually did biotechnology. I started a PhD in biophysics, ran away.
Okay, stop showing off. I apologize. I stand corrected.
I dropped out of a PhD. Iska show off nahi hai. This is like a badge of shame.
Everybody who's got you should have a doctor in front of you.
No, I dropped out. I didn't finish.
But then maybe D? Just D?
No. It was hilarious. So many years I wanted that doctor title. And then 2 years after working in India, somebody thought I was older. So they sent a post saying Shri Pavan Srinath. I never expected Shri before my name. It was frankly terrifying.
But Shri is just Mr., isn't it?
Yeah, and it's respectful, Mr. But you come from the land of Shri and Shri. If you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, he's very famous. So maybe that's why, because you come from the same area, you get the chap. Okay, so that's about the Pragati podcast, policy making. Thale-Harate, I hope I pronounced it somewhat correctly in Kannada, is about all things irreverent and reverence as well thrown in. But I think you're the perfect guy to talk about our topics of the day, which Silverie is going to now outline in his beautiful teenage way. Silverie?
Yeah, hi. So first thing we should talk about...
I'm thinking you just keep a BJP flag in the background because you said your parents are very pro the government now. We're always searching for that flexibility. So when I change my background to work...
I have orange bed sheets anyway, so I think it works out halfway.
Oh, they're taking it too far, though. There's no need for that. Just have the flag. Okay. Go on,
All right.
go on. What's up?
All right. The first thing we should talk about is Amit will be happy to hear Munawar Faruqui is finally out of jail. He
Yes.
finally got
Happened
bail.
yesterday.
Yeah, it happened on Saturday.
Apparently,
But,
less than a minute, right? Like the Supreme Court, the entire hearing was less than a minute long.
Yeah,
They threw it out,
correct.
you mean?
It
They
was
threw it throughout the.
basically they said, "Okay, the procedures weren't followed with lack of evidence. How can you not give him bail?" So all that stuff they said. But
So
they gave the order for release on Friday, and they still kept him. The Indore police still kept him overnight till Saturday. And this law still had to find, "Okay, no, the Supreme Court has come out of the order. You have to listen to the order and let him out." And then they finally let him out.
No, but they have that red tape. If you cross a certain time, the day is over. And all they have to do is say, receive the report only at X time, like 6 p.m. Then it goes to the next day.
So I read somewhere that somebody from the Supreme Court had to call them.
That was not the Supreme Court, like a local. I'll tell you the exact position of the person. He was the Indore Chief Judicial Magistrate from Indore. He called us at the police, the jail superintendent there in the Indore police jail. Yeah.
But
so that's out. Munar's out. That's good news at least.
I would just like to say I have something in common with Munawar. Thank God, finally, I'm catching on to his trousers for success. His whole hearing lasted a minute. My love life is always a minute. So already we are boom. We have something to cling to. And my worry is that did he get out of MP? Did he get out of Indore, or is he still somewhere?
He's back. He was on his back to Bombay.
If he is not driving in a car the second he is out of jail towards Bombay, I would be amazed.
Really, they'll find something else to put him back in. It'll be like Ornov and Maharashtra police. So he's definitely already reached Mumbai.
I'm sure he's back in
Mumbai. Call him up right now. So that
I can, but he might not pick up right now, man. Poor guy, let him enjoy with his family. It's been a month. He's not seen his family.
You don't have to play a bhajan in the background or something. You just have to call him up. Okay.
So that's one. Okay, out of the way. Second one is there's a website called internetshutdown.in. They have done a study that in the last 4 years, just in 4 years, India has had more than 400 internet shutdowns, which is the largest for any democracy in the world. I think there are like 167, 168 countries in the world, 57% of which are democracies, and India, the only democracy, the largest democracy, which has had more than 400 shutdowns.
400 sites.
The longest
No, not sites.
Sorry?
400 times when the internet has been shut down.
The internet has been shut, like what happens in Kashmir.
What's happened in Kashmir, what happened in Haryana.
So, as you talk about, Kashmir was the longest shutdown record in history, which was 213 days.
It was more than a year. It was longer than that.
In one particular go.
No, it was longer than a year.
Okay, but the website, they've done the studies.
This last one, they shut it down when that section 370 was abrogated, right?
Correct.
And that's been more than a year since that happened. And it just came back on like day before yesterday.
I think they'd only managed to switch on Edge network and a few things before.
But that doesn't count. No, that's the internet today is internet with speed. It's not just SMS is not internet. I mean, even though it goes over the internet, that's not internet.
And look, this stuff is like Section 144, right? I mean, it's worse. It's like lockdown. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
But don't you understand? It's a go-to move for a non-democratic leader, like the junta, whatever they're called. Immediately shut down Insta and Facebook and Twitter and all the other things on the spot. China has done it as well. And I don't want to draw parallels, but wherever you do it, it's very clearly your point is democratic thought should not be allowed. People should not be able to express themselves.
China's a little different, isn't it? Right? I mean, like in the sense that China at least doesn't make a pretense towards being an open internet. China has its own little. We have our own intranet within the country, right? So they have their own thing. All the products are their
study own. And look and listen to.
Exactly. This is over here. I mean, like this is just. I mean, like it's insane the fact that people in Kashmir had to spend a year and a half in 2020-21 without internet. I mean, like it is. You are essentially saying that this is no longer a part of modern civilization, right?
Really?
We want to throw this country. We want to throw this part of the country 25 years back.
So to that point, they say.
Specifics. Sorry, like a 14-year-old Kashmiri boy unfortunately denied porn. I mean, in this day and age. I mean, government should think this through because that repressed energy then becomes terrible and people do stupid things also. So I always believe that you have to think it through, not just become into the moral police all the time. Anyway, let's face it, if you want to kill democracy, you kill communication. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Antariksh.
They're saying that our constitution has some provisions that the government can, if they deem fit to, they can restrict internet access, or they can shut down internet access. A lot of other democracies don't even have that permission. So they're saying that countries that have this provision just tend to use it more. So
So
this
one
provision
second,
only should be taken away.
So you're
It's
saying that in other countries, an extraordinary law has to be
Like
created. A
America,
mandate has to,
Amer-
yeah.
America, they don't have a provision for internet shutdowns because they believe internet is a right, that
It
everyone, a
doesn't
fundamental
work
right that
like
everyone
that.
should have.
That's not how that works, right? In the US, the government does not regulate the internet to the point where it is provided by private people. It's provided by privacy, and it's created to. Sorry, the way it's distributed, the governing body is a non-governmental agency. It's not the US government, right? So in the US, it's not really possible for the government to affect that kind of a shutdown.
So they have a
In a
third party syndrome, which could be controlled actually by one of the parties. Well, the
So
government.
the thing is that if you want to become an ISP in the US, you don't need permission from anybody, right? If you want to become a backbone provider, then maybe there might be some things more necessary. But if you want to become a regular customer ISP, you can just become an ISP, right? I mean, like you set up a couple of servers, set up some lines, and you can become an ISP. In India, if you want to become an ISP, you have to have government permission and license and all of that, right? And whenever government license comes in, government also has the right to revoke that license, right? Like radio is an example which I speak about all the time when I'm talking about podcasting, right? In India, the way radio is structured, it has been given by a license, and so that's why the government can impose what kind of content radio is allowed to create, right? And so then that becomes a thing, right? So it's a really weird kind of, like, the internet stuff is particularly strange, right? Because it's done with a complete lack of transparency as well, especially these shutdowns you're talking about, right? When the shutdowns happen, you don't know why they're happening. Specific sites, when they are shut down, you don't know why those sites are being shut down, right? Just recently, Twitter and the government have gotten into a huge fight, right, over some accounts that the government wants them to take
Yeah,
down.
but
And Twitter is saying, no, you don't. We won't take down the accounts. You tell us the tweets you
I
want
mean,
us to take down.
it's a very, forget the sites for a second, because those are specifics. But shutting down the internet is very clear. The reason is always the same: law and order situation. To stop
All right. Yeah.
things getting out of hand, law and order situation. How do you fight that? Because it's an anticipatory sort of thing.
Right.
It's not that the law and order situation has already become bad, but to stop it becoming bad. So then how do you disprove that? It's a very tough thing to disprove, because they're saying in the future it may happen. Hence, we have to shut it.
Yeah,
Anything
which
may
is why
happen.
you have the two things, right? Highest thing is national security. You can do anything because national security. Second thing is law and order. Bus, you can do whatever you want. But the rules, like the same reason you can say impose section 144 every day in Mumbai. Some law and order problem is there in Mumbai every day, no? So
But it's the same reason, no? Like you say, some sort of national security measure or law and order, which comes to the same thing in a sense, and they just use it as a blanket. And you can't argue. I'm saying, what do you argue? How do you argue? Because they'll say, "Nee, but ho sakta hai, shayad, perhaps, maybe." What do you do?
I'm sorry, but the solution is you have to solve the problem. You can't shut down communication, right? And you cannot punish
But how do
millions
we
of
argue with
people
the
for the
government
actions,
logically?
potential actions of hundreds of people. Right now, I honestly, I'm not as absolutist about this as some other people are. If you have a very short-term reason for shutting down the internet, I actually don't think that that's terrible, right? You have, like, the ticking time bomb kind of situation, right, where you need to shut this down to be able to kind of make sure that I'm kind of okay with that. Most people are, a lot of people who generally hold my position are not okay with that kind of thing as well, but I'm kind of okay with that. But this kind of blanket shutdown for no reason, with no kind of this, you're punishing millions of people for the potential actions of hundreds of people.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I think let's be honest. The government cannot control these. Once the government controls these, you can't question the government.
Yeah.
If the origin of the license or whatever comes from the government, what are you going to do? Because it's like they're the landlord. You're screwed after that. So I'm saying it has to be separated. The internet is, at least like it is in America or wherever else, hopefully it is separated. It has to be separated completely. You can have a third party. You can create a body, a committee, whatever. So there's no anarchy and chaos and people misuse things or whatever. But it has to be some sort of neutral body.
see,
I
that's
suggest
what
that
was
body is
tried
Amit
in
and
India.
Pavan.
No,
Sorry?
that's what was tried in India. No, TRI is supposed to be an independent body, but
Correct.
real power still lies in Department of Telecom. TRI does some good work and TRI is reasonably independent, let's say. But real
You're
power is
saying
still with Department of Telecom. That is in government.
So tries but doesn't succeed. And the whole
No,
story is try and try and try again. Get still nothing able. So,
it is.
but let's. I think we're going to break. But I think we just come to the point here. For educated, normal, average educated people, this whole law and order, insurgency, national security reasons, they're always very vague. You shut down a state, you shut down a city, you shut down an area, and you just give this reason, and there's nothing we can do. We really don't have any counterbalance movement here. We have no logic to apply. What do we say? But they say there's a perceived threat.
And the second you say anything, you're anti-national, no? So you can't
That's
even say
what.
anything.
That's the new thing. You're anti-national because you're not worried about the country's security. But then the threat is not clear, ever. Or very rarely it is. And even then, why shut down communication?
It doesn't. It makes no sense, right? I mean, like, it's always. It just makes no sense, right? Because I mean,
we're
like,
criticizing Burma, aka Myanmar.
Oh.
We're criticizing them, but we're doing the same thing, but only in parts of India. While they've done it the whole country, so to speak. What's the difference?
No, and again, if we don't consider communication of this nature, I mean, like, again, I think there's a difference between a 1-day shutdown or a 2-day shutdown in some context, which again, I'm not totally comfortable with, but I think there's a difference between that and being shut for a year and a half. Like, seriously, while there's a pandemic been going on, can you imagine not having the internet? Any of us right now, no Netflix, no Amazon, none of these schools, nobody's kids can go to school. None of that shit during the pandemic.
I had a dream that children of all colors will grow up with all OTT platforms. And I hope that dream comes true one day, my brothers and sisters. But we must take a quick break here before we start rambling on too much. And just a disclaimer, we are not anti the government, not even the Myanmar government. We're just coaxing the government perhaps to look at certain things from a certain perspective. Ours is always gentle, nudging, prodding, pushing. Like that guy in the train who pinches your ass, but never molests you. Well, at least pinch my ass. And I sort of try to catch him, but he ran away. So by Valentine's Day, we'll be alone again. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. And we're back. Amit, sorry, I'm on a very high horse here. So everybody looks like they're praying. I can't change it. I couldn't find it big enough. My books have gone and all that. My father's books.
Hey, can people who are watching YouTube like the stream? Very few likes to watches ratios. The ratio is not good.
What is the difference?
I mean, like there are only 20 likes to some 70 watchers or 60
Indians
watchers.
are shy, Amit Doshi. Indians are shy. You don't say I like. In Punjabi, you say I loves. But that's different. It's okay. You don't express themselves.
No, we need to. We'll do this. We should set up a proper time where we can kind of plug different things, right? Like, hey, go to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on audio, or if you're listening on YouTube, then please like and subscribe to the channel.
How manipulative! We are no different from any government we speak of.
We are not. We are trying to brainwash people into liking our podcast.
And declare national emergency for no reason whatsoever and force them to only hear this. They have nothing but this for 7 days. That's how Doordarshan was number one for 20 years because there was no other person or no other platform. It's a great idea.
Did I ever tell you the story of how I watched the movie Naseeb 50 plus times?
Oh, John, Johnny, Janardhan.
That's the one. Basically, when the video libraries, we used to have these renting video libraries, right? So they all got raided at one point in time and they were shut down for like 3 months. And I had Naseeb at home at that time. So I kept watching it over and over and over.
Naseeb, you could have had Devidas Dallas or one of the old.
I was a little pre Devidas Dallas in my life.
Oh, did you ever go to the Shemaru on Pedder Road?
That's the not the Pedder Road one.
Not the Pedder Road. You go to the Naples Road.
The Keb's Corner. Sorry, the Keb's Corner one.
No, so that's the book one.
Book one, bro.
Yeah.
There was a video one also. I should go to that one.
No, that was the store.
Yeah, that was the book one. Sorry.
So the one at Om Chambers was the store. The one at near Precious Haircutting was the book one, and the one at Mount Pleasant Road was the video.
Correct. Yes, you're right.
Initially, that was the book one also, but then it became a full-fledged video library. Yeah. And then the day they ended, it was a very sad day for people like Amit and me. There was a lot of memories going and coming, not returning on time. We all borrowed the same movies, the same 9 movies every month. So you couldn't get your movie because everyone borrowed the same 9 movies. There were so many movies nobody ever watched. What a feeling it was going into the video library and checking out titles and all.
You'd go there, hang out for like 20 minutes, talk to the guys over there. Hey, what about this movie? What about that movie? As if they actually knew. Now I'm wondering if they actually knew anything about movies, right?
And Indians, when they guide you, the ones who are not very effusive, they just use words like must have, super hai, badhiya hai, it's great. There's nothing more. There's no other information. That's it. Wow. It's the same thing they do when they check out that girl. She's hot. And they actually do an analysis from top to bottom. Oops, let's not go there. Let's go back to Pavan. Why is Pavan silent? when we mention movies and girls, he doesn't talk.
You
What
guys
the hell is
started
wrong
talking
with
about Mumbai bookstores, man. What do I know? I'm from Bangalore.
him? अरे पूरा मुंबई में एक दो किताब है भाई. Just don't worry. We are not a
Oh,
reading
hey.
people.
Array.
Did your laptop fall?
What fell? Who
Yeah,
fell?
yeah. Bit of a fall, but
Wow,
nothing.
that's
All good.
great.
So, Pavan, you're just wearing
Wow.
the shirt on top. Right? You wore the good shirt on top.
I got
Listen.
exposed.
Pavan, big
Yes.
question. How much gin did you have in the morning?
Not yet, yeah. That's after.
So this is falling before the
I
gin.
got
Huh?
exposed.
We'll have to
Yes.
see what happens later.
Alright.
What is this India's gin revolution? But by the way, is it like real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pavan,
yeah.
Pavan is the expert, please.
See, like 10 years ago, or even 3-4 years ago, the only gin you could get in India is Blue Riband.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chinese dynasty that ruled over China for many, many centuries. Anyway, sorry.
That was the Song dynasty, not the gin.
No, and then
dynasty.
the gin. You can Google right now. But spelled not GIN.
QIN.
So, yeah, I mean, the
Oh.
only local gin that you could get in the country was Blue Riband gin, right? And now that has really changed. And this was very sad because the gin and tonic, its history is linked to India, right? I mean, tonic was basically supposed to be your tonic against malaria, right? It would have quinine. So British, when they came to India,
Really?
would need to drink tonic. And tonic was too nasty, it was too bitter, so they started adding gin into the tonic, and gin and tonic was born. At least that's the story, right? But in India, you had to import your Bombay Sapphire gin, and it would cost you an arm and a leg, like 4,000 rupees back in the day, and so on, and you didn't have anything. But in the last 10 years, people have finally woken up, and lots of people, not big companies but small companies, people, entrepreneurs, have decided, you know what, enough is enough, let's make our own gins. And it's not that hard. Indian liquor is all, it's IMFL, right? Indian made foreign liquor. It's all pure alcohol with flavor added. The nice thing about gin is exactly that. It's supposed to be pure alcohol with some jadi booties added, right? Main thing is this jadi booty called juniper, and then whatever else that you want to add. So it fits very nicely, and people have started making it. And now there are some really good gins out there.
Well, what do you mean people are making like how you brew beer at home?
No, professionally as a startup, as opposed to a giant company like Bacardi or somebody making.
But what kind of market? I don't want to bring it down, but I always thought gin is not that successful. Back in my drinking days,
Gin is the new cool.
the new white wine.
Yeah, I basically, so a couple of years ago, I started drinking gin because I like it more than vodka. It tastes better than vodka does. It's not as heavy as dark liquor is. And so I started drinking gin a couple of years ago. And I know a lot of people more and more people are picking it up, right? I mean, like it's a comfortable hard liquor to drink. More so than whiskey or that, right?
Because it's less bitter, right? Basically.
It's not less bitter. It has so the thing. This is the difference between vodka and gin in my mind is like Pavan was mentioning, right? The botanicals, the jadi booties, right? All these various. So they give it. Every gin has a slightly different taste that way, right? Whereas vodka, basically, there is no difference between any mid-level vodka upwards. There's no difference in taste between all of them. They're all the same thing.
But what about the fear of the vernacular? Because when you have names like Champagne and all that, the fear of the vernacular with gin is that in certain parts they'll say gin and they'll give you a pair of pants. I think you should have a more clear name. The name like vodka, no one can say it properly. You know what they mean. The communication is better. So let me talk to Pavan. Pavan, do you think we should change the name of gin to maybe Suresh or something? Just clear.
Why not? But the name of the gin matters now. All the names are all fancy now. There's Stranger and Sons. There's Greater Than. They don't complete. Greater Than
Stranger
gin.
and
Greater
Sons.
Than. Stranger and Sons.
What the hell does that mean?
Who's the stranger? Who's the son? Pata nahi. But it's a good. And there's a tiger on the bottle. But it's a good.
Tiger
gin. On the bottle.
I think we've had so Stranger and Sons made by Anish Bhasin. I think he's been on the podcast before, if I'm not mistaken. He was.
Anish, don't be a stranger. Come back.
But yeah, I think he's been on the show before.
So there have been at least about 10 to 15 gins, and a few of them are now available in Bangalore. And when my partner Vinona and we went to Goa, we sampled a bunch.
Pavan,
and in India, whenever
Bangalore and Goa and putting down my Mumbai, just because we shut bars at 9 o'clock in the night, and just because our dance bars are closed.
But I'll say one nice thing.
Gin
I'll say one nice thing.
Hey,
all new liquor in the country comes from about 4 or 5 places. Okay, it's Delhi, Mumbai, Goa, Pune, and Bangalore. All the
Okay.
new liquors come from these 5 places. Mumbai is
what
also on
about
that list.
what about Jamshedpur?
नहीं आता है.
Full of Parsis, they must be drinking something.
They'll probably be taking it from Pune or Bombay.
And you have the guts to say Ahmedabad and Chandigarh, Haryana section?
I don't know. Whatever goes.
Because the correlation between a dry state and making booze is always fabulous. Generally, wherever it's a dry state, they have the highest record sales. So I was just thinking perhaps it makes sense. Like I remember Thunder Beer. Thunder Beer. First time I went to Gurgaon back in 1996. First time it was just starting as a little, shrub. And the posters for Thunder Beer were as you enter Haryana, as you cross into proper Haryana, which is the dry state. And all the posters were up right there greeting you. So it was fabulous. And then everybody said, sab kuch milega. It's like a joke.
But what is Thunder Beer? I've never even heard of that.
Thunder Beer, that was the name. It's just strong. Like, how we had Khajuraho?
Like a Hayward's Khajuraho.
Yeah. Hayward 10,000 and all, the big one. So the taste wasn't that great because I don't know when they make it really strong.
These things suck, dude.
Your taste goes, yeah.
No, they're meant to get you drunk, right? I mean, that's why beer is not popular in India. People like their liquors because beer doesn't get you drunk that quickly.
Thing, you need 5 beers to get drunk when you need just 2 hard glasses of gin. From what you say, 99% proof. And
so you need one Tetra pack of Old Monk. No, that's all you need.
Yeah,
2 Tetra packs.
We were the chasing kings in college to save money. You chase the Old Monk or the vodka with the beer and you're good. And the cost of company is split around 4 beers, 4 people, and one thing. About half bottle it would take at least though.
See, I went to college in Chennai, okay, when it was still Taskmaster, which was the only place you could get these Sarkari shops. So you'd get brandy. You'd get vodka. Vodka is supposed to be a clear liquid. It should just be alcohol and water.
Yeah.
There'll be some apple vodka. The thing looks yellow. Okay, you open the cap, there'll be vapors that come out. I don't know what was there in that thing. That's a big reason why I didn't drink much in college.
Wow.
Like imagine 6 sweaty guys sitting in a room and trying to drink that apple vodka.
No. Apple vodka, same guys who make the iPhone. Same shit comes out of that equipment. Man. My daughter is driving me mad. She's an Apple freak. And it's the most expensive thing in the world. I'd rather, she got into hard drugs or something. It would be cheaper. This is madness. She keeps going on something and showing me some other product. And nothing is lower than 6 figures. Everything is up. What the hell? Apple should be banned for a year, I think. It's just too expensive.
Well, I think...
That's an interesting question. So there are all these Apple freaks, right? So nowadays there are Tesla freaks. Do you guys know about Tesla freaks? People who are just so into Tesla as a brand and into Elon Musk so much. I think that'll happen when it comes to India. For instance, you remember a year or two back when during the launch of the Model 3, the Model 3 was about to be launched and kept coming out in the news that Elon Musk is doing 16-hour days. He's working 16-hour days. He sleeps on the floor of the factory and all that. Like poor billionaire sleeping on the floor of the factory, right?
Yeah, right.
So all these Tesla owners, who like the brand so much, they got together and they bought like a $10,000 couch for Elon Musk to be placed in the factory so that he could sleep on it.
Yeah, he needed that.
Yeah. Wow, right? That's crazy.
He became the richest man in the world, didn't he, for a little bit?
Yeah,
he is now the richest man.
Last week, right? Or maybe 2 weeks back.
He went over Bezos for a bit, and then I think he went back down. But
right now he's back as the number one because Bezos announced his retirement as the CEO.
No, I tell you, Bezos saves money. Actually, there's a little cost of company is a little better there. He doesn't have haircuts, shampoos, conditioners, all this. So he does save money on hair products. Amit, good point.
You do save money on hair products.
It's not a joke. By the way, I colored my hair yesterday for this freaking trip that I had to go to. Everything costs to color, cut, and I use a really cheap guy who's not a qualified surgeon and doesn't wash his hands, barber that is, $450. If I went to a proper salon, I'm going 3,000 plus. So, hello, you dodged the bullet. Yeah.
Pavan, are there any specific brands that
Cyrus has a 450 rupee haircut?
No, and hello, 250 is a hair, 200 is a haircut, 250 is the coloring.
I'm just amazed.
Yeah, I got this guy during lockdown. He's really cheap. He's a hajam from the road, but he does a good job. When I went for the movie Penthouse and they took me to what's his name? Oh boy, the famous hairdresser. He told me that it costs 3,000 rupees for everything.
Yeah,
that's like a reasonable rate. And I was like, 3,000 bucks. Thank God you're bald. Just do the maths. You're saving close to 40 grand a year. Plus you're commuting up and down and maybe you'll eat lunch on the way. So 50 grand, we can boost it up. 50 grand a year, Amit Doshi, you have saved. straight away. Bezos,
No,
50
I
grand a
would.
year.
I probably would not have been like a 400 rupee haircut person. No, you didn't just get haircut, right? You got haircut, color, all that kind of. You got a bunch of shit done, right?
Just
It
haircut
wo-
and color. No, not bunch of shit. Means I have to color because apparently it's all white now and I look like a leopard. So
Okay.
that's gone. And yeah, and the haircut, this is the best deal. Believe me, people
It
out
is,
there, you
yeah.
want the deal. My fellow's name is Shivpal. He's really good. He speaks chase Hindi and he likes cricket and he stays behind you so you don't have to see his face. Great man. I can give you details. Shivpal will come to your house. We can take a commission. We can start earning money on it. I'll
Yep.
take 10% from him. Literally, to use a barber phrase, from the top. I'll take 10% from the top straight away. Yeah. Don't talk to me about spending money. These things drive me nuts. I can't eat food after. I just don't understand why things cost so much. $3,000 to cut your fucking hair. You might as well pull it out on the frustration of the life you live. It's pointless going through all this shit. And
The
then,
3,000 is excessive, dude. I mean, like
no, it's
3,000.
not. He told me 3,000 is par for the course. If you want more stuff done, there's a computer graphic guy who comes and looks at your face. They did pictures of Al Pacino when he was young or Leonardo DiCaprio, whoever the bloody big star is today. And then they show you how you look like him, which you don't ever. You look like his mother when she's dying. That's what you look like. And they make you look at it and then choose something. No, just for fucking looking at that screen, $500. It's like that. I didn't even want
Antariksh,
anything.
you just got your haircut. How much did it cost you?
Like 350. Yeah, that's what. That
But
cost much,
you
man.
went to a salon, right?
I went to a
A
salon.
regular,
Yeah, like the
not a
local salon I've
fancy
been
one.
going to for years.
The middle class salon. Yeah, okay. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
quite
like your
nice.
Precious Morning Star. It's a similar kind of,
That's good. That's
decent, good place to go to, but at the same time,
Yeah.
not like this. So you go to like the
Hakeem, sorry. Hakeem Alim is where we went. Yeah,
correct, right. Now, so you go to somebody
Lovely
who's
guy,
like
by the way.
no, you go to like a stylist, and it's different, right? Even if you so I don't go, but my friends go to they go to Oberoi to cut their heads, to cut their hair, and the charge over there is also something like $1,000. It's not 3,000.
Oh, my friend Kunal Vijayakar, the great guru of good looks, he goes to a fancy parlor, spends about two and a half grand. It's fancy enough. And
He probably gets like head massage and all that kind of shit, and he probably does a bunch of stuff here.
No, just a simple haircut, but they make him, he feels good. And I believe unattractive men who try to look more impressive are really doing the wrong thing. I try to tell him that don't highlight yourself. Don't make a big show because then people are going to look at you more and then realize that what the hell's happened there. So I personally feel it's a real waste of money. But I suppose they have to live. So they charge, and there are fools who are paying. Pavan, how much do you pay for a haircut?
500, 600, but I haven't paid for my last two haircuts. I have a wonderful partner who cuts it for me.
Your
So
boyfriend?
no lockdown safe, no one coming in. And
Who cuts your hair? Your
my
wife?
wife, Winona. Yeah,
How
she cuts.
sweet.
Yeah.
My wife would cut something else off if I give her a pair of scissors. Jesus, man, I'm not going to take a chance. Nuts. You don't give a woman like that a pair of scissors. All the frustration, goodness of so many years. Hair, where? We'll start with hair. Within 2 minutes, you'll be sounding like her. I'm Pavan. I like Gin. Sorry, Pavan. It won't be that bad. Don't worry. Amit, no point asking you about your haircut, right? Because,
Actually, I just bought a 3,000 rupee instrument for cutting my hair.
What?
Yeah.
3,000 rupees.
Yeah, I got a new set of hair clippers.
Does it work?
New set of hair clippers.
Nice setup.
Do they work?
Yeah, they work. They're great. They're so I got so they're from a company called Wall. So they're really basically sturdy and tough, and they last for like 5 years. So I mean, like it's not like so yeah, I save a lot of money on haircuts.
So can I borrow the clippers?
Yeah,
and I don't mean the team.
By the way, I have a tip for the beard. And Neil Gaiman was once asked what's the best advice he got from a writer ever. And this was his advice, and I learned from there. Okay. The advice is don't use shaving cream. Use conditioner. I'm not kidding. For the last 10 years, take a little bit of conditioner, put it on your cheeks, wet it, shave, bus. It gives you a good shave. That's what I did today morning. That's what I've done for the last 10 years. You want money saving? Done. No other shaving products. Put some balm or alcohol or something at the end to whatever. Put it on
Does
your
your wife
cheek.
shave you also, Pavan?
No, that's me.
That's you yourself. Good to know you use your hands for something important. Finally. Yeah. All right. Okay, I think we've spoken too much about all these things. We're running out of time. AMS?
Yep, let's go to the AMS. Yes, let's go to the AMS. All right. And we're at the AMS. Before the AMS though, Pavan, could you name a couple of brands of gin that are good that people should drink?
Stranger and Sons. Amit might disagree with my first one, which is Greater Than Gin, which is my new Blue Riband. Okay, it's the new stock gin to mix into anything. But I think the good gin we do agree on is Stranger and Sons.
Stranger
There are
Sons
many
is
others
good.
out there which are very confusing gins. Okay, there's
Yeah.
too much going on. There's tulsi, there's juniper, there is black pepper. It's like you drink and it's like drinking a
But I
a
would say this.
bouquet.
I would say this about gin, right? I mean, like you should be willing to sample, right? Like so, like
Okay.
the way with whiskey, most people order black label by default. You should have a default, right? So in Pavan's case, I guess since you're mixing it a lot more, greater than works. I generally drink with like just sugar, with just soda and lime. So I prefer Tanqueray as my standard this. But then you should experiment widely, right? I mean, like Botanist is great. Best gin I've ever had is a Japanese gin, Yamazaki. It was incredible. So I mean, like you should just try all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and India now at least has about 10 to 15 to try,
Mhm.
depending on where you live. And from everything, I'm still waiting to try the Tarai gin, I think, which is there only in Delhi right now. Maybe it's come to Mumbai, not yet in Bangalore.
Don't
And
know
but
that it
of
is.
the stuff that I've tried, Stranger and Sons is by far the best. Just with a little bit of tonic, it just works wonderfully.
Yeah.
The other thing that's happened, gin and tonic is not just the gin revolution, but the tonic revolution. And that's led by you guys in Mumbai, right? Swami Drinks is killing
Swami is
it.
again Anish Basin, no?
And then they're killing it.
Yeah.
Because Schweppes was the only thing, and Schweppes was more water than anything. It was more sugar, right? And now you have really good tonics, and you should drink it.
Okay.
Very technical question. Do you know which politician's name originates from gin?
Which one?
Gina.
Jinnah.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to know where you are going.
I was thinking of something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that.
On that
Okay, cool.
happy childish note,
Yes.
shall we move on
Alright.
to the end?
Okay,
Yes,
I'm just looking at the chat right now, and it's like Kashin Shetty has written a question specifically for Cyrus.
Yeah.
Speaking of Indian barbers, I've always hated people getting their underarm and nostril hair cut at the barbers. Isn't that degrading? Shouldn't they do this privately at their home? Is that something that even ever you heard of?
No, of course. What is wrong with you?
People get their underarms cut?
like
Yeah.
nostrils and ear hair. I've heard
Ear hair.
those, but not
Underarms I haven't seen, but
Underarms.
year and not.
Yeah.
And to sit in pressures now, you sit with five in the old days, 5-6 people are alongside you. So
Huh.
there's that happening. Yeah. And they talk to a nose touch. Which is very difficult. The guys put something up your nose and you're having a conversation. It's bizarre. But I understand what he's saying. I don't know why you want to go into those areas. They're very intimate in a public place. It's almost like a performance. Should not be done because then suddenly you're looking at each other's hair in the ear and nose.
But I mean, to cut your underarm hair, you need to take your shirt off.
Yeah, so that's not making sense to me.
Yeah.
That Indian men don't take clothes off that easily. Even I've told rapists and molesters are known to keep their clothes on. Hence they fail. But that's a story we should get into. I want to just plug my show. It's called Cyrus Says. I only had money to print Cyrus. In time, I will put the Says as well. I don't know if you can read it. I'll try and, yeah. There we go.
Cyrus, do all your clothes have labels on them of your name?
Well, it's all to do with narcissism. Yes, it's true. In fact, I was so stupid. I used to mark my body parts when I was young. Elbow, knee. Don't even ask about the others. You don't forget which is where. Yeah, but it's amazing that everybody doesn't like all these presents, until they get their names on it. Otherwise, like, oh, this towel is all crap and the shirt is terrible. But once they put your name on it, it's gone. It's like Ronaldo's shirt. You have to wear it now. It's done.
Yeah.
So I must say that whenever I'm quite the easy trap there. The moment they put my name on it, I wear it. I send it to my family. I send it to everyone. Maybe we should do that for a show.
New T-shirts with called Cyrus Says.
Oops, God is punishing us. Uh-oh.
Okay, so the next question comes in from Girish Patel. He sent like 3 messages. One of them is Cyrus, loved your interview with Kangana on the week that wasn't this week. This one. He says, as a Malabar Hill resident, are you supporting England in the ongoing series?
At the moment, I'm feeling a little disappointed because after the lovely Australia-India series where the ball and bat were almost equal and hard-fought matches, this became like a featherbed, a bit of a featherbed. And now because batting first, if the wicket crumbles, then they really have the advantage. So it's a bit sad. But yeah, I'm a big Joe Root fan, so it is a tough one for me. I think he's fabulous, fantastic. Really. He's really, in my book, the best subcontinental batsman in the subcontinent. And he doesn't even come from here. They used to, up to 1947, but now they don't. So it's great. He's just got a fabulous record. Big Joe Root fan. Are you guys still there or have I been disconnected?
You're talking cricket, dude, so
yeah.
we're just like nodding.
So you're not interested. But what about you? The Super Bowl was on this morning. I had a couple of guys in the gym following it and saying, you're not following it?
Well, I
What
don't
about
follow.
that?
I didn't follow it either.
You're
It's not very
What
interesting.
about the Indian? Huh?
Not very interesting this year.
Yeah, but
Other than Tom Brady. So I mean that I think is good, right? I mean, like he was. So the guy is literally 2 years younger than me, and he won a Super Bowl. So that makes me feel good.
Wow. Yeah, that is impressive, man.
He's 45 years old.
He's 44.
Wow.
Oh, give me some time to get your age right. 1 second.
No, but you're right. I'm 47. So you're right. So he is 3 years younger than me.
Ah, very nice. You're behaving like the Priyanka Chopras of the world. Huh? 22 till I die. I like it. I like it.
No, I just my math was 46 automatically. I just turned 47.
It's a subconscious thing. At some point, you just don't want to grow older. You know, we reach a point where you say, enough. It's the last stand. Put the flag in the soil and say, 45. That's it. I'm not going above. Yeah.
No, but he won. I mean, like he's 44 years old, 1977 born. Last time, I think a 70s born athlete is going to have a performance of this.
And in such a huge contact sport with
Yeah.
real, I mean, power involved and energy and strength and all that. You think a 44-year-old, I mean, bridge is one thing, but this is really not bridge. It's amazing.
No, it's insane, right? I mean, like the fact that he won the way he won, I think it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. How many Super Bowls has he won?
He's won the most ever. I think this is 6th or 7th now.
Seven, no?
So I think he won 7 and he's lost 3.
Oh, so 10 finals. That's huge, isn't
It's
it?
incredible. He's just it's insane how well he's done.
Yeah, well, I won the Mr. Walkeshwar title 7 times in a row. So, I mean, I don't want to brag. Everybody's got their moment. Next AMA.
All right. This one comes in from Ashwini Deshpande. She says,
Pavan is not talking. Is he still there?
Yes. I'm waiting for the next
Okay.
AMA.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Go on.
This one says, Ashwini says, how has the continuous 5 days a week podcast changed the show / affected the team as opposed to intermittent 2 days a week? Before that.
Yeah, it's literally like intermittent fasting. Good point. I think the biggest problem is that an idiot like me, now with so much technology and rules and regulations, I just turn up with my pants on. Luckily, even that is not a given. So I think, as you can see, day
That's
one.
more than Pavan can say.
Yeah. Hey,
That's true.
I'm an audio podcaster. Okay, I'm not even supposed to do this much. This much of my face was supposed to come on the show. So I'm wearing a shirt. Aur kya chahiye? I'm not naked underneath. So you should be happy.
But you're a podcast racist. Look at you. I'm an audio podcaster. Video types I'm not interested in. Wow. That's
Video is not podcast. Yaar. Aur kuch
That's
hai.
true. Hey, Amit, he's right. What the fuck are we doing?
What?
We sold out. Technically, a podcast is audio. How the hell did we get video?
No, it's not.
Roman didn't
That's not the case. A podcast is basically a piece of digital content which is made available on a regular schedule.
What is piece of digital?
Well, I didn't actually think of that, but that makes sense. Okay, there you go.
You shouldn't have argued. It sounded like genius. Now
No,
it's
it
gone.
is. That is fantastic. That's what it is from now on. Piece of
Genius
digital
moment
content.
and we lost it. Yeah.
Piece of digital content cast.
But then we
Yep.
can call whatever.
So it's
I mean,
not
this
clear.
is YouTube Live, and it's
Ah.
okay that it's YouTube Live. Why should it also be a? It's
No,
also
so
a podcast.
So here's the thing, right? What is Cyrus says? I think is the more important question. Is Cyrus says an audio show or is Cyrus says a show?
No,
Right.
Amit Doshi is the podcast medium because when you first tell someone it's always an audio option. That's the thought that comes to your head. Everyone associates podcast with radio format and audio.
Correct.
Pavan is right. We have betrayed our people.
Yeah, but I think the medium itself has evolved.
Where you're seeing
Like,
much
because
more
the
happening.
biggest
on video.
podcast, the biggest podcast in the world is Joe Rogan's, which is fully video.
Yitzhak Rabin was shot by his own people. Remember that. We have betrayed our own people. We are cannibals. We have hurt our own tribe. I need to cry here. And when I cry, you see my name on the napkin that I'm using to wipe my tears. It says Cyrus.
Upside down.
It's gone where no man has ever gone before, Pavan, and no man ever will. Right. We have time for
So
one more.
just a quick, just a quick thing before we finish this. A lot of people are saying that they have seen this underarm shaving thing. Apparently, the thing is, Kachin Shetty says, the one who asked the question initially, he says to explain the underarm hair saga, customers wear sleeveless shirts. So all they have to do is just lift their arms and the barber can shave the armpit hair.
That's
The visual
disgusting,
haunts me
dude.
always.
Oh, that's a
But
very
apparently it's a
important
thing.
That's a possibility. I have to accept this. I have to accept this because if they do wear a sleeveless shirt, then there's no question of the whole. There's an awkwardness about taking a shirt off in public and all. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So fair enough. Yeah, but I haven't. I've only had public haircuts till this lockdown, and I can't remember ever seeing left, right, and armpit being exposed and hair being shaved. Yes, nose. Yes, ears. Yes, behind the ear, which is horrible sometimes.
I've seen
Everywhere
even
else.
the back, like, I mean, like the back of the shoulder and stuff like that. I've
Yeah.
seen that too, but I've never seen like underarms.
Yep. But maybe it'll change our lives and perspectives if we could. So if anybody out there has a salon which does the armpit thing, maybe we could do that as part of our podcast. All of us getting our armpit shaved while chatting. What do you think? And drinking gin. Strangers and Sons come to mind.
Yes. No, and this is why the men's salons in India have always been men's salons. No, I mean, women had their beauty parlors. Men's salon, people are lifting their armpit, doing other disgusting thing. Why will anyone else want to be there? And how will they feel okay? And that's why all the new places are all unisex. I mean, men and women both go.
Pavan,
So if you want armpit, go behind a door, go into a room and get it shaved. Not in front of other people.
Most of us men are not very attractive. What I love, the piece de resistance, the best moment of the whole thing is when the end of the haircut, the guy takes a small mirror and shows you different perspectives, left, right, center. And this is the ugliest man in the room. And he's preening like a cat. That's a lovely moment. I could just a montage of that. Seeing all us men preening, one worse than the other, after a stupid haircut, which is not going to get you girls. Whatever you think. Walk out feeling like a fresh number, but life doesn't change. Like a metaphor for our lives. Haircuts. No more haircuts. Too painful. So he's Shivpal, 450 rupees. He comes to your house, he talks cricket, and he stands behind you. That sounded vulgar, but he stands outside where your sight doesn't have to look at him all the time. And if you're worried about COVID and all that, he's like away from your mouth area. So that sounds vulgar again. You know what I mean? He just maintains a distance while cutting. All right, are we done?
I think so.
Yeah. Where's my Pavan gone? Has he started drinking or not?
Not yet. Waiting.
Oh.
But
Silverie?
it's here.
Yes.
The bottle is right here waiting.
Show the bottle.
Ta-da. Product
Can I just say
placement.
how much is consumed? Can you just, if you tilt it the other way where it's open without the paper? The other way.
Half.
The other way.
It's
But
still
turn it.
Cool.
We can see
you
now.
can't see it. You can't see it.
It's about 2/3.
But I have one more bottle. So
It's cool. Now we'll get Stranger and Son sponsors. This is
That's
Yes.
what. It was an
Yeah.
act of genius. Why did you have to say it?
very cool.
Yeah. You have to act innocent. So then they call up and say, how sweet. You get a drink each. At least one drink each. That's all you'll get. Yeah. Okay, guys. Wish me luck. First plane ride tomorrow.
All the best.
Enjoy yourself.
Good
Have fun
luck.
in Ahmedabad.
Which is always the place to go to.
I know, the party fun, party central.
There you go. Bye.
Take care.